what's up, guys? Myself, Fredo Cervantes, saying yes, it is a beautiful Tuesday, May the 16th. Lakers play tonight, and it's also Taco Tuesday. These are the breaks.
These
are the breaks.
You know what it is.
Yes. Yep, that's what it is right here. Live from Los Angeles at the Infinity Studios. Myself, Fredo Cervantes, and these are the breaks. And we're going to go ahead and start with the first break right now because I got to get a break. I talked too early, it seemed like, but I believed in what I said a few months ago, that the Lakers were not going to make it to the playoffs. And guess what happens today, guys? The Lakers are going into game one of the Western Conference Finals tonight against the Denver Nuggets up in Denver. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I was wrong about the Lakers, but at the time, I was talking about the Lakers with Russell Westbrook. I cannot even remember the last time Russell Westbrook played for the Lakers. I cannot. I've been so excited to see the new upcoming Lakers squad. We see the new D'Angelo Russell, Vanderbilt, Beasley, Austin Reeves, which, man, oh man, I become a fan of Austin Reeves. If you're not a fan of Austin Reeves, I can't be a fan of you. I can't. Because Austin Reeves is exactly what every team needs. They need a guy that can go out there without any fear. No fear at all. He's not scared about the moment. He has LeBron James and Anthony Davis as a backup. The Lakers have an opportunity to surprise the world and defeat the Denver Nuggets. They have a chance. It's very slight, but they got a chance. My chance, I say, I said it last night on Monday Night Fredo that the Lakers do have a chance at winning this series in 7 games. That is the only way I see the Lakers winning this series. I cannot see the Lakers winning it in 4, 5, or 6. Why? Because Nikola Jokic is the real deal. I mean, I talked about this man a few months ago, and I can clearly see that Kevin Durant and Devin Booker had no answer for Nikola Jokic. The Minnesota Timberwolves had not even an inch of an answer for Nikola Jokic at the time in the first round. Jokic, Murray, Porter. I mean, you got KCP out there, a former Laker, who's going to give them some trouble. Laker Nation knows what KCP can do out on the court, on the defensive end and on the offensive end. Hits big-time threes and also can defend the wing. So, KCP is going to be some trouble. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be some trouble. Jamal Murray, averaging about 27 points per game in the playoffs, is going to be some trouble. And Nikola Jokic, the 2-time MVP, is going to be some trouble. And LeBron James, at age 38, year 20th, is he going to be trouble? He admitted it last night during, some time with the media where he got a chance to say that, hey, one of the reporters asked him, hey, do you think it's real? The coming up here to Denver and playing in this high altitude and whatnot. And LeBron said, hey, yeah, it's real. It's real. You just got to adjust. We've been here. They arrived to Denver on Sunday night. So they've been there Monday and they're playing Tuesday. So being there in the city for about 2 days is really going to help them out. Like LeBron said, hey, you travel from the East Coast to the West Coast, from the West Coast to the East Coast. Time difference at times. It takes some time to adjust when you're traveling. And it takes you about a day or two to really adjust to the time. And that's the same thing he said about adjusting to the scenery out in Denver. So the Lakers do have to defend and defend hard down below with Nikola Jokic. As long as they can contain Jokic and not averaging 20 rebounds, 15 assists, if they can manage that, they have a chance at winning this series. And when you look at a guy like Austin Reeves, Vanderbilt, those key players that are going to have to be they're going to have to be more than what they did in the first and second round. We know that in the NBA playoffs, it's hard to even win a series, let alone win 3 and then 4 to win it all. So every round keeps getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And right now, the Lakers are on round 3 against the Denver Nuggets, number 1 seed in the NBA. So that is something to fight for. And Nikola Jokic really needs to, if he gets a chance and opportunity to really put some pressure on Anthony Davis, that is the key to defeat the Lakers. Is you got to take on Anthony Davis. You got to get Anthony Davis out of his comfort zone. The moment Anthony Davis is out of his comfort zone, you're going to get 13-6 from Anthony Davis in a game. That's exactly what happened in Game 2 against Memphis. That's exactly what happened in Game 5 against Memphis. That's exactly what happened in Game 2 against the Golden State Warriors. Anthony Davis, when you get him out of his comfort zone, he's not the same man. He's not the man that's going to give you 30, 20, and 15, which, he's very much capable of it. And we've seen the Lakers show up in Game 1 of both rounds. We've seen them show up in the first 2 rounds in Game 1. So I can really expect the Lakers tonight to come out strong and possibly steal Game 1 in Denver. That is a possibility. As long as AD can really play his game. So today, it's really going to give us an idea of what this series is going to look like. Every time in any series, any sport, we need to see at least one game. And then we kind of are going to get the feel for this. Like, okay, we know how this series is going to go. And we're going to get a better idea about that. But I still say right now, if the Lakers, I've been wrong on the Lakers. So that's the reason why I'm saying the Lakers are going to make it to the NBA Finals, because they're possibly going to face one of the most historical NBA Finals they've ever have been a part of. Because the Lakers have had multiple final appearances, have won 17 of them. They're tied right now, 17 apiece with the Boston Celtics. Celtics are advancing to the third round as well to host the Miami Heat, which I will be getting to Boston shortly. But if LA can get this done, if they can get it done, my only and lonely concern about it is Darvin Ham. And Darvin Ham has been my concern since day one. That is never going to change, because I saw some crucial mistakes that I saw him do in Game 5 in Golden State. In Golden State, that Game 5, you had the opportunity to steal that game and to really close it out in 5 games. But you gave them life, certain opportunities in certain timeouts, certain situations. And it's all about timely shots. It's all about timely shots. Because when you're up 3 or you're down 3 and you got an open 3 at the wing and you hit it, you got a tie ball game, or you go up by 6. But if that shot does not go in, you're now staying at the same score. Now, Denver gets the ball, the opposing team gets the ball. Then now they score. Now you're down 6. And those timely shots really matter. And that's what the playoffs is all about. D'Angelo Russell has really been that factor for the Lakers in the first 2 series, because there's been moments that the Lakers can't find a bucket, can't buy one at all. Can't. And D'Angelo Russell, he comes through, hits big time shots, hit a few of them in Game 6. And we saw what D'Angelo Russell did in Game 3 against Memphis. Light it up. But D'Angelo Russell, if he can really do something here in his 8th year in the NBA, which he got a lot to prove, a lot to show after the Lakers drafted him back in 2015 out of Ohio State. D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James are the 4 main key role players that really need to step up and be consistent. Everybody else can have their part in throughout the series. But those 4 players that I just named right now, they got to be consistent in this series in order to really compete with a very good, well-coached Denver Nugget team who's been together for quite some time now. They've been together quite some time. So they have as much pressure as the Lakers had in 2020 to win the NBA championship. They had that much pressure right now. But hey, at the end of the day, it's Denver. Who cares about Denver, right? Who cares? But there's one guy that I care about is Monty Williams. Monty Williams was the head coach of the Phoenix Suns, and guess what? Due to the Denver Nuggets taking out the Phoenix Suns in 6 games, they fire Monty Williams, the newly owner of the Phoenix Suns, Matt Ishibia, fired Monty Williams. Fired him. He said, get out of here. Get out of town. Take your money. Get out. I need a new coach who could really put something together with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And broke it down CP3. And, drama queen DeAndre Ayton out there. Who DeAndre Ayton is just a joke, man. He's a joke, and he's becoming that player who thinks he's that player, which at the end of the day, this is exactly my point right here. You see this guy right here, right in front of me? This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is a 4-time NBA champion, one of the most powerful centers that the game has ever seen. And that's his type of player that DeAndre Ayton thinks he is, but he ain't. That's the reason why he's going to get traded. But hey, these are the breaks, so that means I got to take a break. So when we return here on These Are the Breaks, we're going to talk a little bit about the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers and what's going to happen. Hey, also, NFL schedule's out. A lot of big games in the NFL, and the Dodgers have won 15 out of their last 17 games. Very impressive. When we return here on The Breaks.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss, raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
Yeah, that's right. These are the breaks. Myself, Fredo Cervantes, and I got Kobe, and I got Shaq here on the show as well, man. When would I ever thought that I had one of the greatest duels in NBA history here on the show with me right now? And Shaq, stop shaking your head. Shaq, stop it. You see him? See him shaking his head. Shaq, stop it. It's my show, not your show. Anyways, the Boston Celtics are on the verge of making it again to the NBA Finals back-to-back years after losing in 6 games to the Golden State Warriors last season, and now are on their way to face the Miami Heat for another Eastern Conference Finals matchup. And this time, the Heat have the opportunity to really make some noise because they are one of the hottest teams in the NBA playoffs right now, especially Jimmy Butler, man. You got to give that man some credit because Jimmy has been he moved around prior to 2019 before he got to Miami. After he left the Chicago Bulls, he went on to the Minnesota Timberwolves, really didn't like it up there, went to Philadelphia, something happened up there. They decided to take Tobias Harris instead of Jimmy Butler. Then Jimmy from Philly, in 3 months work there, he walked downstairs to the Miami Heat. And since, being with the Miami Heat, he's been in 3 Eastern Conference Finals and 1 NBA Finals. So Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra in the Miami Heat Nation, they are a very good organization. That is an organization that you got to respect because they're very tough. They're tough-minded out there. You got a guy in Eric Spoelstra who knows what it takes to win, what it takes to be at the bottom of the league. And right now, he should be very, very glad in the position that he is right now, because the Miami Heat were minutes away from being eliminated from the play-in. So let me rewind and show you guys what happened. The Miami Heat were in the play-in tournament, and the first game, when you're in the play-in tournament, you get an opportunity. I guess you get a chance to lose once before you actually get kicked off. So they lost the first game against the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta whooped on Miami. Miami was one loss away from being shut down out of the playoffs. They went on to face the Chicago Bulls in a play-in game. Game number 2. They were down by like 6 points in the fourth quarter. Miami was down. Miami all of a sudden came back. They whooped on Chicago to get the last spot in the playoffs. Went on to beat the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis Antetokounmpo in one of the games out there. Then they went on to beat on the last team they just got in the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are a very good team. And even though we don't want to talk about the Knicks right now, but I want to show some respect to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson playing 48 minutes in New York City at Madison Square Garden in Game 5, scoring 38 points in 48 minutes. He didn't take a break. He didn't take a breather. Any timeout he got a chance to rest during that timeout. But what Tom Thibodeau did for the New York Knicks and playing Jalen Brunson all 48 minutes on a do-or-die game, that really showed you that there are certain moments as a coach that you got to get it together and be like, hey, you know what? Hey, man, I pay you $27 million. Hell no, I'm not going to give you a break. You're going to play all 48 minutes. That's what certain coaches should do, because and this is one of the problems I have with Darvin Ham is like, okay, Darvin, you're up 3 points or you're down 3 points. Don't take out AD and LeBron at the same time. You got to have one of those two on the court in either time. And that's a position that certain coaches now like, oh, well, it's time management. Hey, you can't be playing your player 42 minutes, 43 minutes. No. Tom Thibodeau played him 48 minutes and what? Got to win when needed. Crunch time. So certain teams out there like Joe Mazzulla, head coach of the Boston Celtics, he got to do this with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because there will be times that Jimmy Butler will go off. He's going to go off. He's going to go nuts, hitting bankers, free throws, getting fouled, playing great defense that he does, because he's he's a tremendous defensive player. He's very aggressive on the defensive end, and that's where I know that he will be troubling for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But guess what? There's 2 of them. There's only one Jimmy and two Jays, in Jalen and Jason. So I can see maybe Jimmy Butler really putting his hands on Jaylen Brown. He's like, okay, Jason Tatum is going to do Jason Tatum things, because we saw what Jason Tatum did on Sunday afternoon on Mother's Day in Boston, Game 7 at the TD Garden. We saw what he did. 51 points in a Game 7 victory. A historical record that was just broken about a week ago by Steph Curry against the Sacramento Kings. But Jason Tatum is going to do his thing. He's going to be maybe unstoppable in certain occasions, but he will pick up his 25, 30 points or so. And like I said on Monday Night Fredo, when Jason Tatum scores over 30 points, the Boston Celtics are pretty much, they're unstoppable. So Miami and Eric Spoelstra got a lot in the agenda. They got a lot of duties to go ahead and cover, because then you got a guy like Derek White that can go off with 15, 20 points shooting the 3-ball, because he's one of the best 3-point shooters here in the league right now. Then you also got a guy, Marcus Smart, who has really put a lot of pressure. I mean, I don't really see Marcus Smart as a young player in the league no more, because he's been in the league since 2014. For him to talk to the media about his coach the way he did after Game 6 and after Game 7, that takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of guts for any player to kind of call out his coach, not really call him out, but kind of call him out in a way. And I give him a lot of respect for the way he's responded in Game 6 and Game 7 for Marcus Smart. 20 points, 10 picking up his rebounds and his assists. the Boston Celtics really do have a really deep team. I mean, you look at, well, you got an Al Horford and Robert Williams as well on the front court. You got those guys. You got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and you got Marcus Smart and, Derek White. So you got some very good pieces all around. And let's not forget about the sixth man of the year in Malcolm Brogdon either. Malcolm Brogdon, he's a killer. He's a killer. There's a reason why he was a rookie of the year back with Milwaukee a few years ago. And it's the reason why he's a sixth man of the year this year. Because anytime he comes off the bench, he's giving you 15 or 20 off the bench. Guaranteed. 6-7 assists as well on the side. So Boston is very deep. Miami has been very lucky to get to where they're at right now. But luck sometimes doesn't last that long. All right? Doesn't. And my luck is heading out right now for a quick commercial break, because when we return here on Monday Night Fredo, not Monday Night Fredo, coming back to the breaks. All right? We'll return here.
Profanity Nation.
A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Yeah, buddy. These are the breaks. Myself, Fredo Cervantes. And you know what? Believe it or not, the NFL season is right around the corner. Literally right around the corner, because the moment, the NBA Finals end, we get free agency that kind of covers it for about a month or so. Then you got training camp for NFL in late July. Then you enter the preseason in August. Then you got the regular season. September 7th, opening nights, Thursday, the Chiefs having their ceremony night. Of course, they did win the Super Bowl last year against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are pretty much a losing city for the past year or so. But it is going to be a very interesting game on the Chiefs side, because they're facing the Lions. Detroit Lions on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime Video. That's what we're getting. That's what the NFL decided to put on day one. The Lions and the Chiefs. I mean, I get the Chiefs, but the Lions? Really? The Lions? Come on, Detroit. I'm sorry, man, but it is what it is. The Lions are going to get smashed on Thursday Night Football. No biggie right there. But then on Monday Night Football, you got a very, very good game in week 1. I mean, you got the Aaron Rodgers and New York Jets team. That is going to be a very good team to go ahead and see, and very excited to see what that team is going to really bring out through the AFC, because the AFC is already pretty much competitive, especially with Lamar Jackson staying in Baltimore. And you see that they're hosting the Buffalo Bills. So it's going to be the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. You got Josh Allen, a very, very disappointed season last year for the Buffalo Bills, and now are facing the New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers. And what do we expect from Aaron Rodgers? Mr. Double Check. Mr. Fat Check, Cheesehead, whatever he was. And, it sucks to see a career that he spent out there for almost, 16, 17 years that he spent in Green Bay. It has come to an end. And it came to an end in a really awkward way because watching Aaron Rodgers in a press conference, sitting down talking to the media, he was just like, well, hey, that team never offered me this. Well, hey, the team said that they did offer you this and you never called them back. Well, if I would have received the phone call, I would have called back. It was a really awkward moment in a way where whether I don't know who's lying. Is Aaron Rodgers lying or are the Packers lying, saying that they never offered him the contract that he really kind of wanted? He's like, if Green Bay would have offered me a contract, I maybe would have considered it, but they never called. They never offered me anything. So I figure I'll walk to the Jets. And that's what Aaron said. But by him walking to the Jets, it's not him walking to a Super Bowl championship team. No, that New York Jets team has a lot to prove. But yes, they listened to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gave them a wish list. He's like, hey, you want me to come to your team? These are the players I want you to sign. And it technically signed 5 out of the 6 players they give them. So, Aaron Rodgers got what he wants now in New York, in the Big Apple. It's a big city, big media city, number one media market in the country. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Aaron Rodgers is going to face the pressure, which is a lot of pressure, especially for a guy in the league for almost 18 years already. So can Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl for the Jets? No, I don't think so. That's far-fetched right there. I mean, they maybe make the playoffs. I maybe see them winning 9, 10 games the most. I don't see them winning more than 10 games. I don't. I mean, Buffalo, a lot better than them overall. I mean, Miami, if Tua can stay healthy throughout the year, they may be some trouble. Baltimore, they got Odell Beckham. They got Lamar Jackson back. They're going to be coming back together. And you also got, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the defending champions. So they are going to be a very good team. And let's not forget about Joe Burrow either. Let's not forget about Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert as well, because that those two young guys got some weapons, and they're going to be out there as well battling. So the AFC is going to be very, very much a very competitive conference. Very good conference. But the Chargers do host the Miami Dolphins on opening week on September the 10th at SoFi Stadium. That's going to be an interesting matchup. The Las Vegas Raiders open up the season in Denver. So that's going to be very interesting to see what, the new coach out there and Russell Wilson are really going to put together, because it seems like Russell Wilson is maybe not the same player that he was about 4 or 5 years ago. He's not. And I'm not sure if the new coach is going to be able to get something out of him, because from what he gave last year, all that effort, all that contract money that he got last year for his performance that he did, very bad. Trash. If I can say that's trash performance by Russell Wilson. And one of the things that I can't say about the Arizona Cardinals, the Houston Texans, and I could throw in the Tennessee Titans. You can also use maybe the Chicago Bears. Those are 4 teams that you really don't have to pay attention to. Those teams are going to be fighting for the lottery again next season, trying to get the top pick in the draft. They're not going to be very much competitive. Yeah, Houston did some major trades and, did some sparkles up in the NFL draft. Chicago got a very good pick, whether Justin Fields is going to be okay. Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, I don't know if that's really going to work out. He only played about 4 or 5 games last year. That's going to be very tough for Cleveland to really make some noise out there, especially with Pittsburgh kind of really putting something together out there. It seems like Pittsburgh really got something put together, so it seems like they might take over a little more. But yeah, those are the teams that I kind of don't see any noise coming out of those cities, and even Atlanta as well. Atlanta's another bad team, just like Tennessee, that they may not make any noise out there. They may not. And Jacksonville is a little wild card team. Jacksonville's a little wild card because you can see in the way they performed last year, especially in the playoffs against the Chargers, the way they came back after they were down 27-0, and seeing what, Lawrence was able to do in throwing the ball, communicating with his team, and picking up that victory. And of course, he didn't have some success facing the Kansas City Chiefs, but we understand that, Lawrence can be some trouble. So that's my wild card right there. But those other teams that I mentioned, you don't have to pay attention to those. And the previous teams I mentioned, those are the teams you got to pay attention to. And the Los Angeles Rams. And that's what I'm going to finish off right now. Because the Los Angeles Rams got one job to do this year. They got one job. It's to lose games. Lose games. Because you got a quarterback that is maybe not at the best anymore, and it's not as healthy as he was back then in Matthew Stafford. And even though, yeah, you drafted the young guy, well, not too young, he's a 26-year-old, two-time national championship for Georgia, which was Stenson, that guy out there. So you got him as a backup, but you got someone in Los Angeles that you can tank the season for, and that's Caleb Williams from USC. Caleb Williams is one of the best quarterbacks out there right now. He is the Heisman Trophy winner last year. He is the leading candidate this year again to win it back-to-back years. USC got a quarterback that they have not had in almost 15 years. Any other quarterback out there, I mean, USC has had some quarterbacks in the last 10 years, but no one like Caleb Williams. So the Rams got one job to do. It's lose games. You heard that, Sean McVay? Les Snead, GM of the Rams? You heard that? Lose some games, man. You got Caleb Williams. Come on. These are the breaks, man. Myself, Fredo Cervantes. Thank you guys all for watching here today. Of course, you can catch the breaks tomorrow as well here at 12 o'clock and on Thursday at 12 o'clock. And catch me next Monday night here on the Infinity Television Studios. I'll see you guys next week.